Fitting junk food into your macros is a recipe for disaster for formerly obese people. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. But a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. If you're not following or subscribed, please do so. And if you will be kind enough to drop me a comment down below, I would greatly appreciate that also. So let's get over into the topic. Again, flexible dieting, if it fits your macros, all this stuff. People who, you see influencers and people who have never been fat. And as someone who has been over 300 pounds myself before I got into lifting, I have a problem with the way that this is pushed. Oh, you don't need to be orthorexic. Oh, you don't need to eat clean all the time. Oh, you can work this in and it'll be fine. Just work in 20% discretionary calories. Now, that sounds good to other people. For those of us who have had binge eating issues that are trauma related, for those of us who've been at those sort of weights, who still have potential leptin and ghrelin responses different than other people to our food, this is an unmitigated disaster. I mean, this is just ludicrous. And this is why I eat clean. And no, I don't feel it's depriving. And I hate when people say the silly stuff of, oh, well, those of you who are in that issue, y'all just need more discipline. And it's like, because you think that eating ice cream is discipline? That's kind of my point. And my response is, you're the person who literally thinks they need ice cream to be happy and fulfilled. That they have to have a dessert every day. The people who say that don't get to claim that people who say, you know what, I know that I don't handle this stuff. I'm going to binge on it if I'm not careful. I probably just shouldn't have it around. I'm just going to choose to eat clean, healthy foods all the time. To say that we need more discipline, you're literally the person who feels the need to eat garbage. To eat garbage is not even actually food, by the way. Not even actually food. It's like this hyper-palatable amalgamation of stuff thrown together, oftentimes lab created nonsense, all sorts of stuff, whatever. Not even food. You don't get to say we're not disciplined. You're the one who says I have to have ice cream to be happy. Yeah, maybe you do want to need some discipline. All right, but setting that aside, let's come over to this point. I mean, I'm just using ice cream as an example. I use ice cream as an example because that's my childhood binge food related to my own trauma. I'm not going to retell the traumatic events here, but it was essentially, so this explains why I was obese. So this is great for understanding this, of why oftentimes obese people have these issues. For me, I was given unlimited amount of ice creams at age 4 and 5 years old to stop me from crying. After I had suffered trauma. We won't go into what type of trauma at this point. You just eat as much ice cream as you want until you feel better. You know, when you're 4 and 5 years old. After traumatic events. Okay. So accordingly, when you're in those, have any sort of past like that, which is again extremely common for the morbidly obese, there's usually trauma tied to people being extremely overweight. There's definitely mental health issues to it. So when you've been there, the idea that people are going to tell people who've had binge issues and appetite issues and stuff that's led them to be morbidly obese, to tell them something like, sure, all you do is take the ice cream out. Everyone who's ever been fat or who's currently fat, right? Everyone who's listening right now, they know what I'm about to say. Try not to laugh. Try not to laugh. Try not to laugh when you hear this. Yeah, you just take the ice cream and you weigh out enough on a scale to be 300 calories in a bowl. And then you put the rest, you close the container back up and put it back in the freezer and you just eat that and fit it into your macros. Okay. Everyone who is obese, really obese now, or has ever been, their jaw just dropped, or in shock, or they started crying, laughing at the utter cluelessness, absolute cluelessness of that sort of line. You think people who have had that sort of situation with food ever have the ability to take out 300 calories of ice cream and put the rest back in the freezer and eat that bowl and stop once they start? The rest of it's still in the freezer. The fact is they're already doing really well if they get it back to the freezer the first time. They're going to eat this hyper-palatable trigger food, hyper-palatable food that induces hunger and cravings when you eat it, designed to do so, by the way, and designed to do so by food engineers at these companies, that they're just going to eat that amount and just leave the rest of that container in the freezer. They're not going to open it up and eat another 4,000 calories. It's right there. Once they've triggered, you've triggered it. It's just the equivalent of telling alcoholics, someone who's has been an alcoholic or had a drinking problem, yeah, I mean, you can just moderate the drink, just have some discipline and some self-control. Take one drink and put the bottle back up and just put it up and leave it. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Like, this is stupidity. And it's the same sort of answer. Well, it sounds like they need to fix their relationship with food. Yeah, so that your answer then to a drinker would be, well, it sounds like you need to fix your relationship with alcohol. Except here's the thing, ice cream's not food. These treats and this garbage, these are engineered foods designed to trigger hunger and an eating response in people who have a strong dopamine response to it. For people who have certain chemical balances in their brain, these foods, all these hyper-palatable junk foods that these people think that they need to work in who've never been really fat. Okay? These aren't foods. It's not a relationship with food. It's a relationship with food-like substances that have been engineered by food scientists at companies who make junk food to be hyper-palatable and to trigger dopamine. Just like an alcoholic, they get a dopamine hit from the drink. Just like a drug addict gets a dopamine hit from their fix. Do you understand this? So this idea that anyone who has been there, it's the same concept. And I'm not saying they're addicted to food. I'm saying they have dopamine issues related to leptin and ghrelin with hyperpalatability. Okay? These aren't foods. These are not things you can go find out there or grow yourself. These are foods created, all these hyperpalatable foods, your cheeseburger, your French fries, your different types of pizza, your ice cream. These are engineered to be hyperpalatable. They're designed to trigger that type of response in people who have a strong dopamine response to foods due to different things that have caused them to do that with their brain chemistry. It's by design. And no, they can't just, let's say we can't just moderate it. We simply need to stay away from it and just eat healthy, whole food. So what I would say to the people who tell all of us, oh, y'all need to do this, why don't you just let us enjoy our chicken and rice in peace?